Hey guys, Bryan Lebo here with a special news segment. Now, first off, let me be very clear. This isn't a political rant. This isn't about Republicans or Democrats. This has everything to do with how you and I as Americans and homeowners are about to get screwed. So by now, we've all heard about the GOP tax bill and how it's designed to help the middle class. Now, depending on who you ask, this is both true and false. Like I said, I'm not here to discuss politics, but today I'm going to explain 3 huge tax changes that directly affects home ownership. Whether you feel this affects middle-class people or wealthy people is really a matter of perspective. But as you will soon see, some of the changes affect every homeowner, regardless of your income bracket or wealth. So what are these changes? Okay, first is a reduction in the amount of mortgage interest that can be deducted. Second is a new cap on property tax deductions. And then third is a limit to the capital gains exemption used by homeowners when they sell. So right now, I'm sure you're shaking your head at me like, dude, can you just please speak English to me? So let's start off with the first part, which is a reduction in the amount of mortgage interest that can be deducted. So currently, you can write off the interest on your mortgage all the way up to $1.1 million. Now, under the new plan, this is reduced to $500,000. Now, you can say, look, come on, Brian. Only rich people are purchasing homes over $500,000 here in Las Vegas. Frankly, I can't even really argue with this part. While this alone doesn't really affect the middle class per se in Las Vegas, the second part really starts to begin to. So currently, you can deduct the interest from both your primary residence and your second home. Under the new bill, you can only deduct interest from your primary residence. Realistically, you don't have to be rich to own a second home or a condo in Las Vegas. What this does, however, is create much less of an incentive for out-of-state buyers to purchase vacation homes in Las Vegas now. And while this part of the bill affects us a little bit less in Las Vegas, imagine how this will affect high-priced areas like California and New York, where the median price is literally 3 times higher than ours is. Okay, the next and final part is the big killer for everyone, and it gets a little bit complicated. Currently, if you've lived in your house 2 out of the past 5 years, you're allowed to pocket either $250,000 of profit without paying capital gains taxes if you're single, or $500,000 if you're married. Now, under the new plan, this changes to 5 out of the past, 8 years? Not only that, but you can only take advantage of this once every 5 years instead of once every 2 years. If that's not enough, God forbid you became successful during your time as a homeowner, because if you make over $250,000 in one of those years, you lose the deduction entirely. So let me explain this differently. Let's say you buy a starter home and live in it for 2 years. You finally meet that someone special and decide to make that change together. Currently, you can sell that home and pocket all the profit without paying taxes as long as it doesn't exceed $250,000, right? You can use that towards your down payment to start a business, or hell, do whatever you want to do with the money. Now you'd have to wait 5 years, or you're going to pay taxes on that profit. So let's say you're really savvy and decide to simply rent it out for a few years and buy another home with this someone special you met. 2 years later, you decide things are going great and you want to have kids and you want a bigger home for your new family. Currently, you can sell both homes and pocket the money from both sales and use that towards your dream home. Under the new plan, you can't do shit. It's only been 4 years since you purchased the first home and 2 years on the second home. You'll have to wait a year to sell that original first home and then wait 2 more years to sell the second home. By this time, your damn kid's in kindergarten. So let me wrap this up by explaining why this is important and how this affects all of us. While the first part really only affects wealthy people, which is difficult to really feel sorry for, the rest is pretty crappy and frankly it gets shady. Here's why. Like most people, I sold my first home and used the equity in it to purchase my second home. If I had to pay taxes on the equity I made, I likely would have simply waited to sell. Most people purchasing family-sized homes are in the same situation. This means that while our inventory is already so constrained, next year this could be worse when homeowners realize that they'll have to pay taxes if they sell. We can only pray that current homes are actually grandfathered in somehow. Either way you cut it, this slows down the buying and selling of properties. In a town like Las Vegas, it's not really uncommon for people to sell in 2 or 3 years. This is really going to affect middle-class families. Now, the part that's shady as hell is the part, there's a nice little part in this tax code that most people don't even realize. While you and me as homeowners have all these restrictions on what we can deduct and how much we can deduct, real estate investors just got hooked up. Currently, investors can only write off 30% of the interest on their loans or debt service. Under the new tax code, it exempts investors completely. So how on earth does this actually help people, let alone the middle class? You want to know who and why? Homeownership is at a historical low of 63.7%. For the first time in history, hedge funds and corporations started buying up homes by the thousands to rent back to us. Now, we're rewarding these same hedge funds and corporations by saying they can be more profitable by writing off their entire debt service. Meanwhile, you and I have limits and restrictions. Essentially, we're incentivizing our country to rent from big corporations and hedge funds. Let's not bullshit ourselves. We're talking about the uber rich who benefit here. So in the end, sadly, the GOP tax bill does nothing to help the poor, middle class, or even rich. Nothing is beneficial to us. The only winner in the housing game are investors who are obviously doing well enough already. In the end, this tax bill can greatly affect our real estate market next year, since every realtor I know had multiple clients this year sell their current home and purchase a new one. Almost all of these clients have owned their homes for, less than 5 years. With our appreciation still around 10%, it doesn't even make sense to wait and save on taxes, since you'd lose more money waiting and then paying a higher purchase price. So here we are. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, no matter how you look at it, the middle class just got screwed by our own politicians again. Thanks for watching this special update video. If you like this video and you want to stay up to date, please subscribe to my channel and select to receive updates when new videos come out. See you next time with hopefully more positive news.